This episode of the Luxury Agent Podcast is brought to you by Jansen.ai, founded by luxury agent and AI consultant Rick Jansen. Jansen.ai equips business owners with AI-powered tools, virtual assistants trained to work smarter, and practical upskilling, all designed to simplify operations, reduce costs, and accelerate growth. But the real goal? To give you your time back, so you can build a business that supports your life, not one that runs it. Stop missing your kids' events. Actually relax on vacation. Pour your energy into what matters most. You, your peace of mind, and your most important relationships. Visit Jansen.ai to book your free consultation and explore smarter ways to scale.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. This is Rick Jansen with the Luxury Agent Podcast, and thrilled today to have on Nick Fong from Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, our first international guest with Ronival Real Estate. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you, Rick. Good morning.
Good morning. We both have Chicago roots. We were discovering that before this episode. It's nice to know that.
Yeah, it's nice to meet a fellow Chicagoan that got out of Chi-Town.
I think right now everybody is because of taxes and everything else, but that's a 2025 conversation. Nick, for those of you who aren't aware of who you are, I like my guests to kind of just do a humble brag for 30 seconds. Why should people actually be paying attention for the next 15 minutes?
Okay, so as we were talking about, originally from Chicago, I moved here 20 years ago. I was struck by Cupid's arrow. I met my wife, Rocio, while on spring break in 2001. So fast forward now, we have together built the largest brokerage in Baja California Sur, where Cabo San Lucas and many other towns that we service is located. And we operate a big team across 11 offices, over 100 agents and 70 people on our payroll. So that's and we cater to second home clients, Americans and Canadians wanting to buy in Mexico.
You have my attention.
There you go.
that's a lot, man. Wow, for a humble brag, that was a lot going on there. Like, how did you go from, hey, I'm just down here to hit the pools and the beaches and the bars, to like that 11 offices and 70 on staff? Like, that's incredible.
It wasn't by design. It was very organic, I think. But behind all of that was, I have always been someone that's been driven and very goal orientated. And I just needed to be at the right place at the right time to match that drive. And Cabo has grown tremendously in the last 20 years, a lot of ups and downs, mostly ups. And it has grown in my time here, probably by population, 10x. So, the business that we're in, if you're selling real estate and population goes up 1,000%, you're bound to do well if you're doing good business.
But you have to be doing good business. So why are people picking Ronival? Like Nick Fong, a long time ago, said, this is what's going to distinguish me in the market. I'm going to get into the luxury market. I'm going to be servicing people at a high level in the second home market. Like, what was your vision and how has that evolved?
The secret to our success has been very customer centric. So we're not a big franchise. People do not know our name, Ronival Real Estate, which is name creation from our family. And that's a core value of our company, which is family and a close-knit culture of working alongside of people that you like to work along the side. We're working 8, 12-hour days, and if we're not working with the people that we like being around, why are we doing it? And right. That extends further into our clientele. So our clients pick up on that, and it's a big part of why people work with us, even though we're not a big franchise name that they're hearing about in the States.
Yeah. So what's the level of customer service that they get? You say it's very customer centric. Let's say I'm in Chicago, I'm in Denver, I'm in San Diego. I'm looking to either buy or sell a house down in Baja. I've never heard of Ronival. I don't know that you dominate the market. I don't know that you've got these wonderful agents all over the place and 11 offices or whatever it was. Um, why am I finding you? How am I finding you? And what kind of service am I getting?
Well, it's all the team. So our team, the 70 people on our staff, we have a marketing department led by our marketing and media director that handles about 12 people in his 2 departments. And so they're getting a lot of digital awareness to our clients. We generate a ton of online business, so much so that we have 5 people in our call center. So that's a dedicated call center, not virtual. It's here. We have a separate office to handle all of that traffic, all of the customers that are coming into our websites. And that is a big source of our business. And we also train our agents through Ronival University. So we have a full-time staff member. That's all this person does, is teach and nurture the education process for our staff, our agents, our administration. And that all translates to the client experience. Whether you're a buyer or you're a seller, you're getting the same experience, high level, high touch, customized, personalized attention. And in today's market, there's so much with technology, AI, you don't know who you're talking to or communicating with. It's nice to know that when you're buying a second home in Mexico as an American, that you're getting a real person that can relate to you.
Yeah, because people don't know what buying in Mexico is like. I'm getting a land lease. I can't own it. Like, what's going on? Like, there's probably a lot of fear and just uncertainty. They hear about it maybe at the country club or the boardroom, but they don't know how to do it.
That's right. So we're educating, we're assuring, we are consulting, we are, we're the trusted advisors for our American Canadian clients wanting to buy a piece of the sunshine, the beaches, the ability to take walks on the beach during sunrise or sunset, go fishing, go golfing, all the wonderful things that you do on vacation, but to be able to do it at least part of the time every single year and come to the same place every single year.
Now, when you're selling a place, let's pick Cabo. I mean, I know you serve the whole peninsula there. When you're picking Cabo and you're trying to sell to the United States and Canada, how do you target an entire continent? Or not the entire continent, but how do you, like, that's such a huge landmass? Like, how do you say, okay, like, I'm going to just target 50 states. I obviously haven't had my coffee yet because I said the entire continent in 52 states. I should run for office.
No, Rick, I understand what you mean. And it's really simple. We have probably 40 flights that come in every day from the United States. So those are our feeder markets. And so it's the Denvers, it's the Houstons, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, San Diego, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Seattle, Vancouver. So these are Phoenix, Chicago. These are the places that we're targeting our clientele, because those are the people that are coming here on vacation. The people that buy a second home in Cabo or in the Baja come here on vacation to start. They love the destination. They want to make this their dream a reality. And so we're dream makers in essence. So it's amazing.
Nice. So we talked a little bit before this conversation, like shifting to an agent perspective now. Like, to get this up, you have some full-time people on staff. You have separate offices for different things. But you're also using virtual assistants. You are also using AI. How do you use those two responsibly?
Oh, it's tough. So virtually what we have is a part of our marketing, media, and transaction coordination services are virtual. Some of them actually were here in Cabo San Lucas working for us. But life events got them to go into a different location, but through technology, they're able to stay connected and still do the work. So as a result, they know the culture, they know how our business operates, and it's a great extension as a virtual assistant. The ones that are more challenging are the ones that are not like that. They've never been to Cabo, right? They don't know really how our business operates. They have their task lists and they're just operating off of those to-do, that list.
Mhm.
I think for us as a company, we are very intentional of not giving extremely high level, important, big, overarching, impactful tasks to those virtual assistants. It's things that are mundane and repetitive that you could give to, might I say, like a robot, right? If there was a robot on your staff. And it's just A to Z, follow these steps. And that's how we handle the VAs. Now, AI has been something that has been very difficult for us to really get a grasp, I think for everyone, because it's a moving target. So what we have done is through our Ronival University, what we have done is we have set up trainings, we have done workshops around AI. So we're educating our staff how to use it in their respective departments. And that's, as I mentioned, it's ever evolving.
Yeah, it's a fast moving target for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can save so much time on mundane tasks. You can save so much time in crafting messaging and stuff like that. But you still need to have a human in the loop, I always say, because it's the human in the loop that's determining what good is.
Yep. It's interesting to know if you have 50 people on your staff, and with AI as a business owner, how many of those people are replaceable? How many of those people can be repurposed and doing different tasks? So those are the kind of questions that I'm asking myself in the organization. I'm challenging my managers to also think through that. But like I said, I feel like it's something that it's very intimidating, but like anything, it's just start using it. And then you start realizing, well, it doesn't have to be this big, hairy monster. It's something that can be as simple as recipes, like crazy. The other day I was changing my dog's diet, and I asked AI for diet, like recipes. So simple things like that.
Yeah, I started using it as a sidekick, and for planning family vacations, planning a road trip.
True.
I remember one time it was like, hey, I'm going between 2 points on the coast of Oregon. How do I find tide pools, hikes, good clam chowder, and a good IPA while I'm hanging out with my kids, right? Things for them, things for me. And it helped, rather than just sitting there in Google Maps and looking at all the reviews and going on Yelp. AI did that for me. And it took 6 hours of planning down to like maybe 15 minutes. And we ended up having a good little road trip up the coast of Oregon. And we ended up liking the hikes so much, we went back. Like the kids were like, this was amazing. I never would have found that.
Yeah.
Right. And then you evolve it. And then, like you said, it's not replacing people, it's upskilling people. Mm-hmm. It's letting them know, like, hey, you have a path with me to stay with Ronival. You can upskill, you can become more valuable, you can make more money, you can have greater impact because you're learning, you're evolving. Otherwise, I'm going to have to, like 2 years from now, hire someone that actually has these skills and your job's gone.
Mm-hmm. Well, and most of the AI tools, it's $20 a month, right?
Yeah.
And so it's amazing to think. I started signing up for all these different AI tools and realized maybe it's one or two is all I need for day to day. But as an assistant, $240 a year. That's cheap. It's amazing.
Yeah. Unless you go down the path like me, I've got the $200 a month plan, and that's a ChatGPT.
Well, even that, right?
Even that's cheap, right? For what it's able to do in terms of deep research, in terms of like all the advanced level of reasoning. You have 1,000 advisors in your pocket at all times. The best in the world at marketing, the best in the world at communication, the best in the world at luxury. are in your pocket advising you. There really is no substitute for that.
Is that worth it? Is that worth it?
Well, for the way I use it, yes. We could have a one-on-one to figure out whether it's worth it for you. And yeah, for anybody that's watching this and for Nick, just go to jansen.ai, book a free consult with me, and we can just hop on that and talk for as long as you like. Nick, going back to like the new agent or the agent that's trying to break into luxury, you had to break into an entire market that you're not from.
Yep.
Right. You're like, it's not like just, hey, I'm in, I don't know, Lake Forest, Illinois, or Lake Forest, California, and I'm trying to break into the market. You're like, hey, I'm going to Cabo. I fell in love. I'm breaking into the luxury market. What does it take to like make those connections with people like you weren't from there? How do you start like bumping elbows with the wealthy?
Going to events, going to open houses, outreach through the MLS, contacting the agents that have those kind of listings that you would one day like to sell, and doing property tours, having conversations. It's really simple, is getting out there so people know your face and name, and you know their face and name also. Real estate, like everything else, is about connections and networking. So that's how I was able to build my name, my reputation, my experience, my knowledge, my trust in my marketplace, that I was a complete foreigner.
So for you, it wasn't just getting to know the customer. It was about getting to know your peers.
That's right.
And so saying, hey, if I want to be a luxury agent, I need to know all the other luxury agents. It's not like I have to go to the country club and buy the $400 a plate charity dinner, every Friday. It's, hey, let me start knowing who's moving in this market. Let me start picking their brain. Let me start becoming friends. Like, what was it? What was that journey for you?
Yeah, that's exactly. And it doesn't stop. Like after this podcast recording, I'm going to reacquaint myself with a luxury project. So it's a continual outreach with luxury communities, listing agents, and also lifestyle. Luxury real estate is a lifestyle, much like buying a second home is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so the more that you can understand the luxury lifestyle, which is, I believe, different depending on the destination, and definitely different depending on the client. So we have different luxury client avatars, ones that are by definition solely based on price point is luxury, but you will never notice that they're a luxury client from a physical outward appearance. You know, they're wearing board shorts, flip-flops, tank top, baseball cap, and they're saying dude every other word, right?
Yeah, and that's different than someone who comes down in a suit and driving the Cadillac or driving the Rolls Royce or whatever. Like, it's a different person. But you can have somebody, especially in Mexico, who's like, hey, I want to blend in. I want to lay low. I want to be my casual self. I'm going to show up in flip flops. I'm going to show up in my board shorts. But by the way, I've got $100 million in the bank. Yeah,
or more.
Yeah, right. I remember I was dealing with a client, and someone who was working with an uber wealthy person. And he said, actually, like where you're from, you might be driving the Rolls, but here in this neighborhood, you might want to like sell that and blend in a little bit more. Like this isn't a flashy neighborhood. And he was kind of advising him, like there are different kinds of wealthy. There's the new money, there's the old money, there's the show it money. And I imagine the same thing happens down in Cabo.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. People tend to want to blend in when they come down here and not be seen. And so you'll see a lot of very successful people that are understating their status.
Never judge a book by its cover.
Nope. It couldn't be more true here in Cabo.
Nice. Well, Nick, any closing thoughts for us before we wrap this up?
No, I think depending on who's watching or listening to this, your audience, I think if you're a real estate professional, selling second homes is industry. It's a niche that is growing more and more. And with the craziness going on wherever you are living, whether stateside or some international location, people are looking more and more for their little piece of paradise. And that might not be in the country that you hold a passport. It might be in a foreign place like Mexico. And if you're selling real estate, there are no borders. And, how you and I connected and how I connect with our peers that are selling real estate internationally, and talking to them about their client interactions, it's astounding the stories that you hear. And then for the people that are just end consumers of real estate, I feel that you can make your dream a reality, and it doesn't need to be in the state, the country that you currently live in. So
nice. Well, let me give you one little softball pitch here, if I may. We didn't talk about this before, but why am I choosing Baja over Costa Rica?
Baja has more accessibility in terms of airlift and proximity. It's a common thing that I hear with clients considering both locations, that it takes me a whole day to get to Costa Rica. That's number one. Number two is the infrastructure. The infrastructure in our area in Cabo is much more built out than in Costa Rica. Now, with that all being said, the climate's very different. Costa Rica is a tropical climate, and the Baja is semi-arid desert on the ocean. So very different. And we do have clients that own in both places. Why not?
Because you can.
You're right.
Nick, thanks so much. I really, really appreciate your time. And until next time, have a great one.
Thank you.
This episode of the Luxury Agent Podcast is brought to you by Jansen.ai. Founded by luxury agent and AI consultant Rick Jansen, Jansen.ai equips business owners with AI-powered tools, virtual assistants trained to work smarter, and practical upskilling, all designed to simplify operations, reduce costs, and accelerate growth. But the real goal? To give you your time back, so you can build a business that supports your life, not one that runs it. Stop missing your kids' events. Actually relax on vacation. Pour your energy into what matters most. You, your peace of mind, and your most important relationships. Visit Jansen.ai to book your free consultation and explore smarter ways to scale.